Oh. Okay. So where we last left off, we were placed straight into the dungeon, and wouldn't you know it, there's a thirst limit. However, for the first time ever, there's actually a place for us to recover hydration and HP. Ho 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 ho! And you'll actually see this combination in the future too, which spares your inventory from needing to carry very much water. I still kept all mine just in case, but the odds that you'll be unlucky seem far more slim in this dungeon, as hydration can be found on most of the floors. Yeah, I saw you in the beginning of the game. You're sexist. Cutscene. With only one woman in the front? What the heck was that about? Touch the clock face. When you go back outside, you'll find the Fairy King. You can talk to him on occasion for some words of encouragement, but he serves more purposes than that. It's the key. It's the Fairy King. Don't let Seda's death be in vain. There's another Seda waiting for your arrival. That Seda is the one who created the genie. We can save the world if we stop the genie's creation. Not many can cross the gallery of time, but you can. I believe in you. Can I buy items? Well, wait. Hold on a sec. Can I buy gems? Oh my god! Even though it's nearing the end of the game and you've lost the Sun Giant, Dark Cloud doesn't have any point of no return. You can freely travel wherever you wish, just in case you have any backdoor items to use in order to quickly level up your weapons. And speaking of leveling up weapons, the Fairy King sells gemstone attachments. As I've said before, these things put in a ton of work, so you don't have to. Building up weapons takes a lot of time and effort, and gemstones certainly speed up the process. So if you have a lot of money lying around, you can buy them for 3,000 coins each. It's an awful lot of money, and goodness knows enemies can be stingy with their drops. So if you want to still put in the effort of building up weapons by using the gemstones themselves, but don't have access to a whole bunch of money, I wouldn't think any less of you if you use the Broken Dagger glitch to jumpstart your cash flow. You can technically use the Broken Dagger glitch to quickly build up your weapons too, but if you do want to put in the effort of properly building them up, and you just find grinding gold far too frustrating because of how RNG it is, I think using the glitch to farm it is a fair medium. That said, the second floor was absolutely littered with large chests for me to find. Some of the weapons were fairly high tier and others considerably lower. But I knew there would be some point where I'd be required to use all or as many of my characters as I possibly could in order to beat the game. He's got some impressive reach, I won't lie. But these enemies back away too quickly, so he's a little... Dang it. Well, at least we did it. I had to make sure that playing my two newest characters, Osmond and Ngaga, felt as painless as possible. So while I found it easy to play as Toan and run around smacking guys, and even just as easy to one-shot enemies with Goro, I knew at some point I would have to begrudgingly try playing the other two as well. And it seems without good element or anti-qualities in a weapon, Ngaga is perhaps the most difficult character to take out monsters with. Of all of them, I haven't quite figured out enemies that he's specialized against, though I will say that his ability to outrange Toan and Goro does give him a specific type of edge in certain matchups. Now, if only his weapon didn't suck. Oh, right, before I get totally sidetracked, I think I need to talk about how Atla works this time. You may have noticed there isn't any place to assemble it. Neither of the overworld areas in the Dark Castle have an edit mode, and the main menu in both locations will only let you look at the pieces you have, not assemble them. So where do you go? That's right, the dungeon itself. Now, I made the mistake of believing at first that the only place you could assemble them were the healing pads that doubled at refilling your hydration. I was wrong. Turns out you can assemble the Atla at any point so long as you're in the dungeon itself. Assembling the Atla has a different purpose this time as well. Each segment is a story in Seda's time. Once you've assembled all the pieces, you can view the story through the Atla menu. Only by viewing each one will you be able to progress to the final floor. But don't you worry about being in a hurry to do so. There are around 20 or more floors to traverse before you'll find them all. Now, in what could either be good news or bad news, depending on your outlook, is that each floor has very few Atla to find. So if you're lucky and find them very quickly, you won't be spending very long at all on any given floor, even the ones with some pretty crummy limits. Of course, if you are unlucky, you may have to go the far stretches of the map to claim them, and you may be required to mow down practically every enemy in your path in order to find the gate key up attic. So you may spend a good amount of time on each floor just fighting enemies. And they range from agile little suckers that jump away from you, flying pests, giant but slow enemies, earth-based foes, plants, or playing cards. Honestly, it's a test to see how comfortable you are with your varying allies and their weapon types, though if I'm honest, you can probably take most of them out with just Toan, Xiao, or Goro. And if you really believe in Ruby's supremacy, she can honestly take on every enemy type. I think the real weakness for Ungaga and Osmond is they still want you to build up a proper weapon tree instead of giving you weapons that barely need to rank up to do optimal damage. And that really hurts them as characters, especially this late in the game. But I have to say, finding Osmond's matchups early on made him a lot easier to pull out than Ungaga. I am sincerely lost on how to play this poor man. He has a combo like Toan does, but he feels a lot clunkier and he moves much slower. Maybe someone watching this has some tips they can share. I mean, at this point, I won't be needing them, but there is a reason I call this a retrospective series. It's about sharing my experience so other, more experienced players know what type of information to share with other people in this day and age who also want to play this for the first time. You know, if they ever remade this game, I might try and play it again and see if smoother controls would give underdogs like Ungaga more playability. Until then, I think it's a weird game of smack and back away. Either that or tanking damage and using the iframes to get in moderately okay damage. All right, we got it. It's fine. Whew. Well, that's enough of my talking. In the next video, we'll see how well my efforts worked out. Because as you have probably guessed, I've been building up to the episode where I am forced to play as only my allies. See you all then.